This is our 2013 RV trailer, and this is the last time you're going to be seeing it because we're selling it.
Now, we bought this RV about a year and a half ago in September of 2021, and we bought it because we wanted to experiment with RV sharing on platforms like RV Share and Outdoorsy. And despite the fact that I would say that our overwhelming experience has been relatively positive, we are ready to let this thing go. And so in this video, we're going to be breaking down not only why we're ultimately selling this RV, but we're also going to be talking about how much we made during this year and a half long business venture.
So the number one reason why we want to get rid of this thing is that it is way too big and it gets involved in way too many damage claims. The first one being it got sideswiped on a bunch of trees, which not only damaged the size of the RV, but it also ripped off a piece of the roof. And somehow he even managed to scratch some of the back pieces, which I was able to polish out a little bit. The next damage came from this rear end damage where he sideswiped the entire side of the RV against a car. That was one of the most recent ones, and even took off some lights.
The problem with this RV is that it's just so big, and not only do you have to have a special truck to transport the RV, but you also have to have some background knowledge in how to work a trailer and how to drive with one. It's not something that somebody can just do right off the bat and have success with it. There really is a learning curve, and because of this learning curve, there's just been so many damage claims, and we've been really concerned about the long-term ramifications of these damage claims, not to mention the fact that there's always the chance that something more severe could happen later on, which is just a risk that we don't really want to take any longer.
Another reason why we want to get rid of it is that this thing is so complex and there's so many things that can go wrong with it. I mean, look at this thing. It's like a mini house. Everything from stovetops to microwaves to bedrooms to even plumbing. There's a lot of little itty bitty things that can go wrong, and some of it already has, like our toilet valve. This little tiny flush valve back here ended up breaking on a rental, but we didn't even know it broke because we had a small little freeze the night before. I came in here and emptied all the water out of this place, but unfortunately a little bit of water expanded into ice and cracked it. So when the renter went about 2.5 hours out of the city, they hooked it up to water, it flooded this entire bathroom, and they ended up having to clean it up. It was a lot of mess that I had to handle over the phone.
Now, I have to give credit where credit is due because HP is the one who's definitely put in the most work into this RV. Even though I have definitely helped clean the RV and turn it over between rentals, HP is the one that deals with all troubleshooting, he meets the guests in person, and he's also the one that works on the RV. And it was getting to the point where we actually like to see the RV sit more than we like to see it go out on rentals because we knew the anxiety associated with sending it out on a trip. There's just so many different things that can go wrong, and we knew that once we started feeling this way about the RV, it was time to let it go.
And the last issue we have with this RV is the location. Logistically speaking, this is not as easy as our car sharing fleet, like our Turo cars and get around car, and even our camper van, which can all be relatively close to our household, and it takes less than 5 minutes to access each and every one of them at any given time. This thing takes at minimum 15 minutes.
And honestly, I think that 15 minutes is incredibly generous. I think it typically takes anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes, and for us to have to do that every single time to not only do key exchanges, but also to clean the RV, it is incredibly inconvenient. Not to mention the fact that anytime we have to move the RV, we actually have to go and borrow my dad's truck because my Toyota 4Runner cannot tow something this large. It is just incredibly time intensive, it isn't worth it, and it's very inconvenient. And that doesn't even include the fact that this lot actually costs $180 per month, and that adds up over time.
But let's go over the numbers.
Now, we bought this RV back in September of 2021. We paid $13,600 cash for it, and over the course of the last roughly year and a half, we made $16,998. Now, keep in mind that a huge portion of that income did come from damage claims. We were paid out a ton for the roof damage that was done, and we were also paid out for side damage that was recently done as well, but the RV was also consistently rented out on a monthly basis over the last year and a half as well. We ended up selling it for, or we are selling it for, $12,500. Somebody is picking it up tomorrow for that purchase price, which means that after we take into account the cost of the van as well as all of expenses, we walked away with a profit of $15,898.
Now, all in all, we've had a lot of good experiences with this thing, and we learned a lot of valuable lessons. One, we like doing RV trailer stuff when it's personal stuff. We do not like doing RV trailer stuff whenever we're renting it out. We're just not trailer people as a whole.
Now I know in my case, I definitely learned some valuable lessons from this experience. Number one is the fact that if you are somebody who's wanting to explore RV share and outdoorsy, I definitely would recommend a smaller RV. Now this thing is great for large families or if you're somebody that knows how to work RVs, but I think that because of the fact it's so big and it requires a larger truck, it really limited the amount of people that could rent the RV and also people who would feel comfortable renting it. I think had we gotten a smaller RV, it would have been much more successful. For example, our van is absolutely killing it on RV share and outdoorsy because of the fact that anybody can get in and drive it. And I think the biggest lesson that I learned personally is that if you are somebody who wants to buy an RV and you want to offset some of the cost of that purchase, I think renting out an RV like this could be a really good play. And in the case of HP and I, we wanted to test out RV life to see if it was for us, and like he mentioned, it isn't. I don't know if renting out something like this for business use exclusively is something that I'd recommend because it just doesn't make enough money and it is so much work.
Now, all in all, this wasn't a bad experience. I'm glad we did it because, truthfully, we would have never known until we tried it. But we will still be keeping our van because that is killing it, like Aubrey said. And quite frankly, I like driving it too. It has a lot of good memories and plenty more to come. As always, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next video, and stick around to see all the fun memories that we had with our RV trailer.